Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuyingiddewo, it's a Friday. Yes, we are winding up the week. Mutusonyiwe okunyuma ennyo bwe bulwadde bwe tuwalawala. Yes, mwebale kusiima. I want to assume you're saying you're very smart together with the guest that you haven't yet seen. But tuyingiddewo, it's the 27th day, of the month of August. Nagwo gugenda gutambula. Omwaka gudduka ku speed gy'otayinza kutegeera. Yes, abaana baffe bali ku ewaka because the schools are closed. Tuongere okuguma. Looks like we are not in control so much. Tulinda bakulu kye banagamba as the year goes by. But meanwhile, parents, mufunira abaana ku bintu ebyokola. Keep them busy. Obwongo buleme kukwata nnyo ice. Ate this is the opportunity okubayigiriza skills because they're never too young to learn something new. Get a skill, however small, however much gyolaba nti saawa eyo kiyinza okuba tekijja mukolera. Let them have it because tumanya wa COVID gyatutwala. Welcome to the show. Date Njikugambi. So many people were born today. Happy birthday to you, Fatuma Nanteza. We love you so much. And we believe you now from your daughters Hasfar, Kauthara, and Becky. Bakwagaliza birungi birere. Also, happy birthday to you, Farida Lutale, from the entire Lutale family and your children. Yes, bakwagaliza nawe birungi byonna, yonna Jolly, na byokola byonna. Happy birthday to, yes, Sister Mukaya Juliet. May your new added year bring many more blessings, prosperity, and good health to you. Thanks for loving me, and I love you too. Wishes coming in from your sister Nabukera Margaret. Also, happy birthday to darling Grace Namubiru from Rose Nampija, Betty Kakulu, and Tekla Nambi. Kisache Josephine, Naiwazaliwa Lero. Greetings coming in from all your classmates at Masaka School of Comprehensive Nursing. Yes, welcome to the show. My name is Farida Mwasuze Mutya. Okay, omugenyi waffe owa leero ntwawo okulaba interviews ze ku TV unless ng'ayise press conference. He is one of the few or many presidents that we have in the country. Tako Mao, he is also an honorable member of the August House, that is Parliament. Tegeezani president owa FUFA ekibiina ekitwala omupiira mu ggwanga, Engineer Moses Magogo. He's an engineer, he's a member of Parliament, and he is a president. What else are you?
I'm a father.
Father, husband, and a citizen of this country. Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Tusanyusa okulaba sewo.
Amina nnyo.
Tumaze ne tukuyoola. Akatimba kakutte.
Nange ndi musanyufu okubeera wano.
Bigenda bitya?
Mpola mpola. Alhamdulillah. Biseera byakugezesebwa. Naye ate ebyangu bikolebwa abantu abatono ate ebinene bikolebwa abantu abanene.
Abanene. Oli munene oli?
Ndi munene.
Kituufu. Mbadde manyi kaweeveere.
No, ndi munene.
Okay. Because muli mu recess? Oba house ekyatambula?
House kweri lwakuba nti etuula lwakubiri lwakusatu lwakuna bye tulabako. But beyond that, Parliament okola ne ku weekend tuba tukola. Kuba tubeera mu constituencies.
Mubakomeremu. Omanyi si kyangu okubeera president. Fe tuba tulowooza ogwo ogufo gunene enough for anybody to be earning for something. Not the president of the country, but whatever organization you're heading. Naye n'ogamba nze kino tekimala. Kanzireyo n'obwa MP mbwagala. Oloota big, too big.
No, but sometimes it is a calling. Nti waliwo lw'otuuka ng'essaawa eyo kyekyo ky'olina okukola. Mbadde mu mupiira nenkola byenkoze mu mupiira naye yatuuka essaawa nga abantu abanzadde abankuzizza waliwo need gye nali ndaba nga nsobola okuyambako. Bwe bantuukirira nange ne ndowooza nti nsobola okukola ekyo kye baagala. Bo
be baakunoonya? Sibyo waliko?
Sine aliko. Wavaayo abantu abajja ne bantuukirira ne baŋŋamba nti baali bantuukirira before buli kulonda okubadde kubeerawo. Naye nga nze ndowooza nti si ssaawa ntuufu. Ku luno ne ndowooza nti ssaawa yali ntuufu.
Okay, tunabigendako ebyo much later. Over more east, right?
Yes.
Which side of the east?
Nva Busoga. Kusooka yalinga Kamuli district naye kati bagiyita Buyende district. Ndowooza district esemberayo ddala mu Busoga okutuukira ddala ku Lake Kyoga. Busoga weekoma.
Awo ne tuyingira which
across
eri ku nsalo. Across the other side is what?
Waliwo ennyanja, but across ennyanja waliyo on one side. It's a district which is bordered by other 7 districts. Waliyo side ye Serere, Kuteso, waliyo side ye Lango, Nakasongola, Kayunga. It is just in a corner connecting all those districts.
Okay. Gye wakulireeyo?
Yes, nakulirayo, nasomerayo. Ekibiina kyange okuva ekisooka paka ekyomusanvu. Then ndyoka njoyininga amasomero amalala.
Kasomero bakayitaani obusomero bwaffe obwedda bwabanga bwa mutawaana.
Ogwaffe gusomero.
Gunene gwa Church of Uganda.
Church of Uganda. Kagulu Primary School. Bwe nasomera ndowooza lyali erimu ku masomero in the whole sub-county. Mwalimu amasomero ndowooza nga 2. It's a big area, but it was one of the best.
Abiri goka both primary and senior school.
Tewali actually secondary school in that time. Right now there are few, but that time tewali.
Okay. Dimuli okali wasomeramu all through?
Yo, nasoma P1 to P7 in the same
Mukagulu.
school. When amala P7 then you can yongerayo. It was a very good experience. Primary school. Lyali essomero eryo nga likola bubi. Naye ate lyaliwo. And but I was just very lucky. And when I took P7, ne bakyusa ne baleeta headmaster. Yali very enterprising. Before they used to get 0 first grades. 0. It's normal.
Ng'akoze obulungi afuna second.
Afuna second.
Even third.
No, second. But bwe twatuuka mu P7 ne baleeta headmaster omulala omwaka ogwaffe ne tufuna 22 first grades and we were the 3rd best school in the district. Then the following year ne bafuna 37 first grades and was the best in the district. Headmaster oyo n'avaawo n'agenda. N'olwaleero bafunayo mu 0 baddirira ddala.
Headmaster lwakitemu mu bribing n'abirira ddala.
Omwami oyo kati we twogerera yafa. But I'm just saying I was lucky nti lwaki we natuukira mu P7 opportunity eyo yajja.
Oba emikisa gize gikulondoola.
I think so.
From way back.
I think so.
Yabalawo bbanga ki ng'ogenze?
Myaka 2 era egyo gyokka. Gwe nali mu P7 ne following year era bwe yagenda n'agenda mu masomero amalala incidentally gye yagenda ng'akola bulungi naye ate wano opportunity yali egenze. For other people. Era abaana abasoma naffe mu generation eyo mu kyalo era bw'olabako nti wali wagundi waliwo waliwo omulala.
No, engineer, oli doctor. Okay, oli mwana wa kumeka?
Muzeeyi wange yazaala abaana bangi naye ate mbala nnyo namba yange mu maama wange kuba ndi sure nti maama yazaala abaana 7 nze ndi wa 6.
Second last born.
Second last born.
Okay, abamuzeeyi tobala?
Nyinza n'okubasabala sibamanyi maybe.
Yeka yabemanyidde.
Ndowooza bwe yafiira ye yali abamanyi naye
yawummula bambi.
We normally meet. N'abamu be tumanyi abasinga obungi bakuze abamu bafudde but mu mami wange wenyinza okubeerera ddala nti we are 7, 3 boys, 4 girls, the 2 girls passed on, so we are now 5.
Sorry, may they rest in peace.
Amen.
Olwo abamu obalaba ne kati wano wootuuse mu bukulu bw'oliko nti osanga yagamba president nze sister wo banzaala.
No, betumanyi tubamanyi really, but I'm just saying I cannot be sure kubanga muzeeyi we yafiira waliwo n'abalala abajja nga amaze okufa. But I'm sure bamami baffe bayinza okubanga bo bamanyi.
Buli omu amanyi ababe bakakasa.
Of course, ayina okubanga amanyi naye waliwo bye tumanyi era we meet, we live together. Some are living in Uganda, some outside the country, but we are okay, we are good.
Okay. Bw'oba osoma primary ofunye omukisa mu performance bulungi wali oli sure oba wali oteebereza ofuna idea of what you want to be when you grow up?
My dad passed on nga senana agenda mu P1.
Wow.
So I was just raised by a single mother and nalowooza nti okusoma, I always had a big brain very early. Naye nalowooza nti okusoma kyekintu ekisobola okukyusa obulamu bwaffe ffenna. So nalina ambition y'okusoma.
Bakulu baali mu ssomero? Of
course bakulu bange bo baali basoma naye ate nze nalina ambition y'okusoma nga manyi this is the only way we can turn around.
Right, ng'okyali mwana muto?
Nkyali mu very early classes in primary. For me, I think I grew up okusingako emyaka gyange because when abeera P4 I used to sit in the family meetings nga waliwo ensonga ennene naye nga mami agamba no. Of course basisita bange baali bakulu ng'oluusi balina bye bakoze naye nga tebaagala mbeeremu. Incidentally nga ate bo ye mami ayagala mbeeremu ng'alowooza nti yali ndowooza alina kyandabamu. So by that time already nali manyi nti nina okusoma, njagala okusoma and thank God nasobola okukola kye nali ndowooza okukola. What would I want to be really at that time nali simanyi because nali saagala kubala mathematics at that time early primary until I got a teacher gwe nali njagala ennyo.
Oli yali akusabula kibooko?
Yali tankuba naye nga saagala nga ndaba binsumbuwa sibitegeera. Incidentally that's where my trade ended up being. I ended up being a very good mathematics student.
That was in P what?
Natandika okufuna interest in P4 but earlier classes I used to top my classes naye nga strugglinga ne mathematics incidentally.
Ebirala byonna nga osaza busaza?
Ebirala byali birungi naye nali saagala bwagazi. But when afuna omusomesa yakinjagaza then I ended up performing very well and topping my classes and my grades.
Ogambe kaalo kyako ko baakuzaalira?
Kagulu Primary School.
That's the school.
Kagulu era bwe bakiyita. It is in Kagulu sub-county. It is now in Buyende district, which is in Busoga.
Okay. Kagulu, kati nzijukidde ne Kigulu.
Again, Kigulu is on the other side of Iganga, well far off. But this is Kamuli, and then the far end of Kamuli North.
Okay. So, Bomala P7, how many did you score?
P7, nafuna 6, mukyalo kyali unheard of at that time.
Go wasinga ku kaalo, ku ssomero?
I think in the district because nafuna when I didn't nali ndowooza nja nakufuna nnya really, and I used to tell my mom nja kufuna buna. And I got a D1 in all the subjects apart from English where I got a 3. English
ate ya kulema okusinga mathematics. Ne mu math wafuna D1?
Yeah, I got a 1 in each of the 4 subjects. I mean in the 3 subjects okujjako English when I got a 3, and it was a very unheard of result in the whole area. Lakwandi jajja wange mukyalo ekyo yali amanyikiddwa nnyo, so erinnya eryali livuga lyali jajja wange okusinga nze. Muzzukulu wa Bwiso, because he was a very known rich man in the village.
Yali akola biki jajja?
Was just a farmer. Yali mulimi w'amaanyi abeekyalo ebiseera ebyo naye mu standards z'ekyalo yali musajja mugagga ekimala.
Ye yakutuuma eri Magogo?
No, eri taata wange yali ntuuma naye ye jjajja wange yali anjagala nnyo ng'omuntu.
Okay. Magogo lina any meaning behind it?
Well, I don't know.
Or it's just a name like Nakazi?
I think it's just a name. Bali kozesa before, I think in our grandparents, I don't think it has a specific meaning.
Okay. Kati olwogenda mu senior, olonda ssomero ki?
Headmaster bwe yajja, yaleetawo ekintu ekipya mu ssomero. Wali tokkirizibwa kuteeka first grade beyond Kamuli nga n'essomero terikukkiriza. Kamuli high school simanyi budini naye ye bwe yajja n'agamba gwe teeka ennamiryango, gwe teeka ekisubi.
Lwaki nga essomero lyali teryagala kugenda beyond?
Obonoona choices baali bamanyi nti ojja kufuna marks.
Headmaster yali yabaaki?
Headmaster ono bwe yajja n'agamba gwe teeka ennamiryango, teeka ebuddo, teeka abawala gayaaza n'amagunga. So n'aleetamu, I think it was empowering for us. And I put my first choice in Namiriango, na incidentally saagifuna. By 6 zaali already way off. My second choice was Jinja College, and mama wange yali ayagala nsomere Namasagali, because Namasagali was a powerful school then. Nengendayo nenkola interview ne bampa naye nentuka nengamba mama naye tuyinza obutabeera na ssente. Mami, it is very expensive. Lwaki sigenda mu government school Jinja College gye bampadde? I'll make it. Tubulanga nti mami wange yalinga ampuliriza kubanga nga njogera ebintu ebireeta ebikola sense bwe mbirowoozaako kati. So nengenda no teyakiwakanya nengenda Jinja College nasomera senior 1 to senior
4. Mama as a single parent yali akola ki?
Yali alima, yali asuubula, si muntu eyasoma naye ate yasobola okutulabirira obulungi wadde muzeeyi yali afudde. We didn't lack like abantu abalala, we really didn't lack. Of course walingawo challenges naddala school fees. There was a bit of a struggle, but we didn't lack.
Okay. So you settled for Jinja College?
Yeah, I settled for Jinja College. Ekyali funny nti Kagulu Primary School batusomesanga mu Lusoga. Nga ni waba science,
ne
math, ibiri ogaita ku isatu.
Abacus ne bagiyita bati?
Well, ebimu nga bateekamu oluzungu ebitasobola kukyuka. Naye ngenda okulaba ibiri ogaita ku isatu funaita unlike I think we understood. I think it's a very good thing.
Yeah, it is.
I really think
it is easier to translate to English.
Twategeera nnyo. Maybe that's why I even struggled with English eventually in primary. But even again, the Jinja College challenge yaliwo nti ngate basomesa mu luzungu lwerere. So it was a bit of a transition. Ovudde mu kyalo ogenze mu ssomero ly'omu kibuga.
Mulimu abaana
abagagga gozena kino
abakuba oluzungu.
Abaana abamu basomedde mu luzungu. I remember mwezi wanu bagamba buli omu ayogera essomero lyavaamu naye nga nze ntya n'okwogera essomero.
Katono bagambe Kaleegi Kagulu.
Nedda nabagamba Buckley. Buckley essomero lyaliiganga nga ndaba ebbaasi ziyitawo naate nga lyabawala beereere. You know, it was abaana ne baseka.
Mama wange yali metroni mu Buckley.
Abaana ne baseka naye nga nekye baseka sikitegedde. But eventually I got to know. But that's life. You know.
Kagulu yali ekuswaza. Ngola abali
abaana bogedde amasomo Victoria, Nakasero, Uganda Road. The good thing is amasomero ago twali twagawulira ku headmaster gwe twalina yali musajja mujagujagu gati yajjange ne Kampala n'aleeta test papers Uganda Road Nakasero so amasomero ago nga tugawulira nti ga mutawaana. Kati bwotuuka mu class n'olaba omwana yasomera Nakasero, yasomera Uganda Road, Victoria.
Ngolaba bo baakabi.
Kati gwe oleeta Kagulu. Naye ne njagala nyongere ku standards. Njogere kusomera eddala.
Ne weeswaza kuswaza. Engineer Moses Magogo, Member of Parliament, Atera President owa FOFA, Federation of Uganda Football Association, Gwetulina tugezaako okumutegeera. What makes him who he is? Katulumulemu tukomawo. Thank you so much for keeping it NTV, Gwetulina ku Spark TV plus our social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Osobola tulaba butereevu. Teekako butesi your data and catch us on your phone or in your office. Bokola emirimu gyo ate bw'owuliriza. Tulina Engineer Moses Magogo all the way from Buyende mu Busoga, that is Eastern Uganda. He's a Member of Parliament that side, Budiope East. Yes, Budiope East. Atera ye President akulembera ekibiina ekifuga Omupiira mu ggwanga. Yali tayagala mathematics, but along the way he got to love it. Bwe yafuna omusomesa era namuscoringamu bulungi nnyo. At primary level ayingira senior school asangayo abaana atandika okuyiga Olungereza. Terwakalubiriza olulimi lwe bayiza obukulu si lwangu.
Esidada Luzungu baali balutusomesa ne mu primary the subject, but the confidence of speaking, the confidence of you know okuluwulira n'olutegeera was a little bit of a challenge. So my performance in senior one, I think the best position I was 16th out of abana abalinganga 180. But by second year, Mwestu nalimazo catching up.
That was good.
You know, I started topping classes again, even in Jinja College.
Oloza nti oluzungu lwako affecting amwana oba confidence yaite na building engeri gye wali oli threatened a little bit.
I think the environment yali mpya, but also the language tuyinza kijjawo twalina omusomesa asomesa yasomera Bungereza nga n'oluzungu lwennyini ate nalwo alwongeramu. But I think after some time I got used. By second year Mwestu I'd already caught up and established myself. And I started topping classes again.
Number one.
Number one, number two.
From senior one?
From senior two.
Senior two, okay.
Senior three, senior four, it was all flying and good.
Okay.
And
Aonga mathematics weyongeredde ddala omukubo.
Actually, it became my favorite. Like, and n'abaana abali maybe abalaba program. Okubala, it's not a bad, it's a very easy subject. I think it is just psychological. Abantu abamu batandika okulowooza nti bizibu. Wanange bwentyo bwe nali naye nga si bizibu. It is one of the easiest subjects omuntu mwasobola okufuna max enyangu. Naye bw'ojja ne phobia erowooza nti ekintu kizibu. In life generally, buli kintu olowooza nti kizibu kibeera kizibu.
Okay. Walotandisa ofuna any idea, slight idea what you want to be?
Yeah, by all level otandisa okushapinga up. nali njagala kukola physics, chemistry and mathematics ku A level because abaana abaali basinga obugezi mu ssomero kyalinga order nti ekyo kye bakola. And we were a group of us at that time in Jinja College, about 4 or 5 people. Abaali batoping a class, we ended up being friends incidentally. And the gafina tuloza tujja kukola physics, chemistry, mathematics at A level, which would lead you to something particularly. So O level yali nyangu. There was a bit of a challenge of school fees incidentally. By that time, mami yali atandise okustrugglinga. Naye ate I kept up my grades as well. I had to balance between okubanga nga tewali sente osokomawo leeti ku ssomero oluusi bakugobye, but for some reason I kept up academically okubanga nsobola competing up to my senior.
Ebiseera ebyo nga musasula sente mmeka at government school?
I remember esente tezaali nyingi naye zaali nzibu because zujukira olumu waliwo lebangoba school fees zali senior 2 nengende wakanga mami taliwo nensangawo anti wange n'agamba lwaki ovuddeyo ku ssomero nemugamba beetaaga sente n'akwata bukwasawo mukasawo keyalina n'azijjayo n'agamba linnya motoka oddeyo ku ssomero.
Wali mu Kisoro?
Nali mu Kisoro. It was a boarding school. Naye I think it's very difficult today bakusindikira omwana n'omusanga ewaka school fees. So I'm thinking zaali nyangu okufuna wadde muzadde wange teyazirina because omuntu wakwatira mu nsawo ate nga tagenda zibanja nti oba akuwoze just your auntie. Kirabikanga ekyali ekyanguko.
Zaali za auntie si za mami? Zaali
za auntie yagamba ddayo ku ssomero vaawo wane waka tatuula waka nga sister we taliiwo. Kikulaga nti maybe kyali sente nyangu abo n'alaba emitwalo 5 oba 10 kati omuntu n'agamba addayo ku ssomero. Olwaleero school fees ziba mitwalo 5 6.
Mitwalo 5 watubuulire ku tutwali
ngati at some schools
bale kitole nnyo kamu
akadde kamu. So you can imagine olwali kiyinza obutaba kyangu nti omwana omusanze awo ng'obuvunaanyizibwa si bubwo n'okwatayo akakadde awo n'ogamba ogira oddayo ku ssomero. I think it was affordable although tezaaliwo at that time. I can't remember exactly the figures.
Okay, you seem to have been an academic giant. Does that mean to wabeerayo kone co-curricular activities zewenyigiramu?
Me I'm a multidisciplinary person. Nakolanga ebintu bingi ku ssomero. From primary nali nzanya omupiira, nali nziruka emisinde, nali nzanya drama, gamba nali involved mu bintu bingi but ate nafiisangawo n'obudde okubanga nsobola okubanga nsoma bulungi. So ne mu secondary still nali nkola kyekimu. I used to be an athlete. Mu primary, I mean mu O level nali one of the best runners in the school. Nali nzanyira, by that time nali nsobola okuzanyira house yange na school team. I was very tiny. I went to school a little bit earlier than age, really. So
watandika ku myaka ki primary?
Jalinga myaka 4. It was really very, very early. Naye tewaliwo opportunity yagenda mu nursery. So mami n'agamba omwana agende ku ssomero.
Ate ideally omwana wa P1 aba 6.
Kubanga 6 years, you know. Naye I think me I was a little bit of a different kid. So mami n'agamba ono omwana agende mu ssomero aleme kubeera wana. And there wasn't an opportunity of nursery schools those days. Nga kyosobola ogenda okusoma yali P1 eyo mu kyalo. So
wagenda okumala P7 ng'olinga?
I think about 11. I was always ahead of my classes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You were 10.
Yeah, bali baagala.
Because ayingiridde ku 6 abeeranga 12 amalira.
Bali baagala, in fact nali mu P6 bali baagala nkole ebibuuzo bya P7 neŋŋaana nze mwennyini personally neŋŋamba no sigenda kikola. Because amasomero gaabikolanga nga balaba omwana nga mugezi bobeera mu P6 bayinza okugamba nti kola ebibuuzo bya P7. Sometimes abamu nga bayita ne beeyongerayo ne baskiping omwaka. But for me the good thing is nali mu environment nnungi. So when nali mu O level nali tiny. I was still very, very tiny. I think that's why I could not even play football at that time. But athletics, I used to run, I used to do ebintu ebirala byonna, debates, and that was my experience. It was a very good Catholic school, Jinja College. In terms of discipline, balina engeri gye batushapingamu. Ate nga tebakugaana nga gwe omusiraamu ku practicinga your religion.
Okay. Kali kasavu kanyama. So mu kusoma wano amagezi walingo revising nnyo oba gwe bana bakwatira ku lubaawo? Somesa comes, says whatever he says. Bwengobongo bwaki grasping?
Well, I think I used to do both. Because nali nkola ebintu ebirala nali sirina nnyo budde bugenda mu kusoma. Nate bwe babiranga nga wali examinations we prepare. We're concentrating and ogamba okay kaneweemu time eno mala okubanga nconcentrate bana yagalanga nnyo okukola obulungi nga manyi kisanyusa muzadde wange mami yasanyukanga nnyo nga nkoze grades nga ngamba Moses oli unfortunate ndi muzeeyi wo tabaddeewo okulabako ebintu byokola muzeeyi we yagalanga nnyo abaana abagezi naye tewali na mukisa muzeeyi wo okulaba how brilliant you've been in school ng'oluusi atandika n'akaaba n'atimbuka n'akaaba nemugamba mami tofaayo we shall make it. There's a
reason why.
Yeah, maybe singa wali singa sifaayo nnyo singa sikola nnyo. I always get positivity out of negativity.
And that's the way to go. Never siblings bona bo bali bakola bulungi.
Well, I don't think to my level. My younger brother struggled. And you know mami yatuzaala yagapinganga nnyo emyaka. Almost we are 4 years apart from my younger brother musingako emyaka 2. Naye
4 years apart.
Palinga 4 years apart. Zinagenda okukula basista bange nga sisobola na muyita linnya muyita baaba. To the respect. Jomu wangu mulaba muntu mukulu. Because just my sister gwenzirako ne gwenzirako it was a gap of 8 years. So really twali mu different range nga bo tubatunuliranga abantu abakulu.
Okay. Okay, so see, I want to assume you also performed excellently. S4.
I did very well.
Final exams.
Yes, I did very well. I did. My mocks nafuna 8 out of 8. I was very ready. But then third term nensumbuwa nnyo mu school fees na biki. Bayali final term nga bagala sente. I didn't maximize my potential. I think I got 13 in 8 subjects, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been much better, but I think your term yali bayagala nnyo okola ebikinga. In fact, when agenda okola ebibuuzo bya senior for what I remember, bali banganya okola ebibuuzo.
Right.
Nga sente teziri yo school fees. Nentambula nengenda mu office ya headmaster. Ngaliwo n'abazadde abalala nengamba abazadde ko nze am a student in senior 4. I'm the best student in this school. Njagala kulaba headmaster nganya okola ebibuuzo. Omuzadde omu nankwata ku mukono n'agenda headmaster n'amugamba headmaster omwana ono byayogera bituufu. Headmaster n'agamba bituufu but nga pepe gena mu maaso. Actually the biology paper was going on.
Headmaster yennyini yajja n'akukimayo?
No. Nze natambula nengenda mu office ye nensanga abazadde abali mu queue. Nimbagamba nsaba bayitako njagala kula headmaster. I'm the best student in this school. Na headmaster nganya okola ebibuuzo and for me this is my life. Kati omuzadde omu n'afuna concern n'ayitawo nange n'agamba headmaster is this true? N'amugamba is true. Kati headmaster n'ambuuza hey, what kind of parents do you have? Abalina omwana bw'ati naye nga tebasobola kukola ki? N'amubuuza who is your mother? Who is your father? Incidentally bwe n'amugamba amanya ga muzeeyi wange nga yali mukwano gwe. Naye yali eyafa of course some many years ago. N'agamba are you mwe baana b'ono omukyala mami waffe bamuyitanga omukyala omugabula? Ne mugamba yes. Namba go back, go genda okola ebibuuzo. I went I think after 1 hour nga paper yatandise dda. So there was a bit of that disorganization, but I still got 13 in 8 subjects. So nekimpa finally opportunity yange y'okugenda na miryango gyonna njagala okugenda.
Okay, bamuyitanga omukyala omugabula. Yeah,
because in Busoga is subdivided into counties. Kati north Busoga, Kamuli, Diope used to be called Mugabula generally. Mwachabazinga wa Busoga. So bali bamuyita Mugabula.
Okay. So ugenze na miryango. Otute what? See? PCM?
PCM, physics, chemistry and mathematics. I went to Namiriango. When again in Namiriango, this time Charlie Chango. Nti nali one of the top students ever had meeting Musomero in Namiriango. Naira sagenderawo. Again struggling with the school fees. Nembera ye waka for some time.
Babanga tebagaba scholarships because I can imagine an academic giant.
Headmaster bwe yamala okutegeera my situation bwe namala ebibuuzo bya senior funa ngamba bw'okomawo wano mu senior 5 ojja kusomera bwereere e Jinja College. And indeed yali akimininga naye ne mugamba omanyi I think I need to change the environment.
Why?
I'm so used to this school. Nze njagala kugenda na miryango nawulira nga nze njagala kugenda kusomera. I'd done it in P7 kifuna and I was thinking why didn't I get it? I need to get it. So I'm okay. Namiryango was relatively not a very expensive school as well. So nengende Namiryango after like 1 month ngabana batandise okusoma. When I went there, the whole school Namiryango yalina set up yayo yanjawulo. The whole school was waiting for me because batimbanga amanya g'abaana abazze and Namiryango, it was typical nti abaana abasooka balina okuba basomera Namiryango. Now there was some name appearing among the top names. Abaana abaali bakoze obulungi, and was saying ono yaani, and my hobbies had gone ahead of me benava n'ab'Ejjinja College. Nga bagamba ono bw'abazze ono mugezi nnyo. Now agenda tuke Namiryango, I was shocked. Everybody is waiting for me.
Your classmates. My
classmates, and it was a bit difficult again to settle in, to be pure. HS is very different from O level. But once again I settled in and I was able to catch up, and again top classes. And at that time I was more known. When I took the sports, it was time for sports. So I started doing more sports. Ate abantu bali bamanyi nti abantu abakola sports tebakola nnyo.
Kati kwabo gwali.
I'm the one on the right. Okay. Now try to samba mpira na abasibe ba apa prisoners there. But when natuka ina Namiryango natuka mbisera bya sports nti sports abaana abakola sports tebatera kuba nnyo bageze mu kibiina. So isomero nilintegeera ngo omuzanyi omupiira ngo omuddusi kuba nali mpangula emisinde nga zasinga okudduka biki. Kati abaana ne bamanya ngo mu emizannyo. So tugenda tuka mu class bagenda okulaba ku performing n'abasomesa ne beewunya nga ntandise oku performing. I'm performing, I'm doing the best, I'm one of the best, I'm topping class, and they were shocked kubanga I'm balancing the two things well. So life went on in Namiryango, and again it was a good experience. Actually it was a very good decision for me okuva Ejjinja College ogenda Namiryango.
Oyinayo bojjukira ba hobbies nga tubamanyi bwasoma nabo around that same time?
Namiryango, very many. But you know, nali mu class y'abantu aba science. Abantu ba science baba bangi, abantu bayinza obutabamanya. They are engineers, they are doctors, very many. In fact, our class in Namiryango were 47, the science class, and 46 went to university on government. We were like 7 of us in the engineering class. Waliyo ndozanga mukaga mu medicine class. It was a very good
47 and 46 went
on government for different courses. That was the science class, you know. So abamu bangi, there are many engineers all over, there are many doctors.
Atamu arts.
Mu arts era nabo bakola bulungi. I may not have the exact figures. Naye there are a number of people around who are doing different things. Most of them are professionals, more involved in architects, lawyers, a number of them.
Okay, so school fees wise, wamala kote?
Mnangera we natuka, at that time, my elder sister of Nambe wa mami yafa kati yali amuddako ye elder sister of Nalongo. Bawe by then yali akola mu Uganda Railways.
Mami we yafadde?
Our eldest sister yafa naye yamuddako ye kati gwe tubalanga elder sister of. Mami akyali mulamu. Kati no. Yakyaliwo n'olwaleero Katonda akyamutuwadde. So sister wange oyo Bawe yali akola ne Uganda Railways. So he really came in handy and filled the gap. And like I said, I was always lucky. Byabeeranga biganye nga wabirawo ekintu ekiri miraculous happening. Byali biganye nafuna omulimu gwa Uganda Railways n'atandika okufuna sente. Waliwo ebyali biganye ndozali senior 3 senior 4. Waliwo brother wange mwana wa tata waffe yali yabulanga agenda ye Kenya nga takoma weno. Kati we natuukira mu senior 3 ate n'akomawo n'atandika okukolera Kampala ate ayo naye n'abeerawo for some time naye n'ankwatirako. So it was a combined effort. Mu senior 5 natuuka okukola senior 6. Era nawo waliwo challenge yemu. But then bawa sister wange najja n'afiiringa gap eyo. Nensobola okukola senior 6 e Namiryango.
Nofuna bomeka olwo?
Namiryango nafuna. I was actually the best student in chemistry in our year in the whole country, which was my weakest subject.
You were the best?
And yes, and I think I have this thing into when ndabo obunafu bwange bwe ngezaako nnyo okukolawo nnyo. Nafuna M chemistry, M mathematics, and then B physics. That was A, B. Actually, I didn't apply in Zekola Pharmacy at the university, which I got. By then, that pharmacy class yabeerangamu abaana 10 bokka in the whole country. Naye nga twemanyi ng'omu avudde buddo omu avudde, but somehow twakolangawo they used to call the mathematics contests, national mathematics contests, and I did very well our time. I think I was the second in the country. Ne batuwa ebirabo, batuwa sente, batuwa twabikolera Makerere then nenga tuli mu senior 6. So twagenda okujja mu pharmacy class nga twemanyi wa 10. And 4 of us had been in Jinja College incidentally. So n'abalala ndoza bavayo Mwiri ne Namiryango ne Kisubi, and that was it. You could not just enter that class. But then nasomayo week mu pharmacy nenda banga tebinyuma. Ngabibo. Nganda bange mu engineering wali ebintu ebinyuma nga bali eri bagamba
gwafuuka. Ebinyuma wali oyagala ki nga muzanya ku
It used to give you time to play. Pharmacy is a little bit, it was more academic. Naye mu engineering nga balina time to play, but at the same time nga nebyo boogera bye basoma jukira twali twakava mu senior 6 so olabanga byoyagala okukola ki. That's how eventually I exchanged with somebody ali mu engineering ayagala genda mu pharmacies and mu pharmacy ngenda mu engineering. University netukkiriza netukyusa.
It is that simple? You just have
yes, at that time twagende wadino netumugamba manyi njagala crossing and we had just started and we had the points each other so ologenda academically nga fena to fitting both ends. Nagende erinze nenzire eno and he's a very successful pharmacist. I'm also a very successful engineer.
Okay, which engineering did you do?
Mu mwaka ogusooka ebiseera twasomanga general engineering and at that time I wanted to be a civil engineer. Naye nayagalanga nnyo okukola ebintu ebisinga obuzibu. Kati ne bangamba naye telecommunication engineering is harder. So me I wanted to do that hard one. At that time I was always looking for what is the hardest thing that somebody can do. Nokola PCM bagamba nti yesinga obuzibu. You know, I always thought I can do the hardest. I always believed in myself for kola the hardest. Incidentally, wombuzo olwaleero maybe it's not about doing the hardest. It's about doing what makes your life better in life.
Better, comfortable?
Yeah, because there's some girl, now is a woman, Yalina Magunga, bali bamuyita yali muwala wa Sebirige Sebunyoni, yali minister yafa. Eliza Namugenyi. She was a very brilliant girl in Amagunga. So one time tried to meet in one of those socials. Nangamba alinkola PCM. She had been the best girl student in the country. Nemugamba nkola PCM. Namanage zenkola MEG. Nemugana hero achokola mathematics, economics, geography. You are the best. Nagamba I want to be an accountant. Nemugamba ebyo byangu lwaki okola ebyangu. Nagamba in life it's not about ebyangu.
Buli omu gwagala akola ebibyo.
Ndowooza bamugezi olina kukola kisinga buzibu. But I don't regret. I ended up doing very well in life. So, but advice I can give other people nti tokola bizibu. Kola ekyo kyoyagala okubeera. Ate abaana tubayambeko ng'abazadde tubawe options. Bategeere ki kye baagala. Naye fe abataalina nnyo guidance bwetyo ng'okola bukozi osoma busome.
Walinga we-challenginga. Otuuse ng'olaba it's making a lot of sense.
I think if I had more guidance, I would have been something. I would have done something different. Not that I regret, but I think that the engineering may not be your best work because of wongo. Kubanga musezeri developed abantu abagezi bakola science, tebakola engineering. Kati ate musezi neziri engineering yerina sente. So abantu abagezi ending up nga bakoze engineering, but science is the research, is where you need abantu abasinga okubanga abagezi. Not in the engineering is just an application of science.
Olabanga choice je wakola you denying
I think I didn't get the best of me. This country would have had a better me if my brains was used more into ebintu byali byetaaga, because engineering is kizibu okumufuna nga musoma. Naye ate mwangu okwapplyinga because applying ebintu already by science bebakoledda beba discovering, so you just put into application.
But it is not too late.
Well, right now I think obuvunanyizibwa bungi.
So ekyo kirealizinga mu myaka kati gino nga wotuuse wano oba along the way musomero?
No. Kati ngamba if I'm to give career guidance, if I'm to direct this country to investing ennyo nti abaana abagezi bagende mu research, mu science, okunoonyereza. Naye bona mu kuvumbula ebintu, innovation. Naye bwogenda n'otwala omwana asinga obugezi n'omutwala mu okwapplying already ebyo ebiri ogenda kwesanga nti mufirwa resource nene. Me I'm thinking that emirimu egya research tegisasula kimala. So abantu bending up nga banoonya emirimu egya engineering egiyinza okuba nga gye gisasula. It have been the other way around.
Oboolyawo n'abaana kyebava tebajagala
emirimu egya science.
Yeah.
ekintu bwekibeeramu essente ekintu bwekibeeramu ssente abantu definitely baagala okisoma because abantu basoma kola ssente at the end of the day.
Okay, how was your life at university?
Life was very easy. Very, very easy.
Did you tell in the challenges tuition?
I was a government-sponsored student at that time. Ate abaana abaali bafunye EB ebiseera ebyo nga gavumenti etusasula ssente. They were the top. Wasitofuna EB, gavumenti yali etuwa $5,000.
Buli semester?
In the early 90s, yes.
Byonna
byonna nga babikuwadde naye nga bakuwa $5,000 because wafuna EB mu HS. Tekyali nga kizibu, tekyali easy.
As long as you got two A's and above.
I think oba balondanga mu science. I don't remember, but I remember baali abaana batono in the whole university. Nga batuwa $5,000. And then engineering, nga buli engineering student era bamuwa $5,000.
Ng'ofuna akakadde buli mwezi.
And then
buli semester.
Not semester, twakolanga terms at that time, but buli mwaka basasulanga buli mwaka, but it was a lot of money for student. Ate nga tulina kyamaanyi nnyo kyozikozesa ziba zizo
kulyako kugulako obugoye bwo.
So I was
kuchakalako.
And then I was also enrolled for a German program bayitango ba GTZ, which was giving me another $500,000 again per year. Waliwo projects that twakolanga side zekatwe eyo mu industrial area. So there was a lot of money at my disposal all of a sudden, and I was very enterprising. Nti by that time mami yali atandise okustrugglingira ddala mugamba mami ngumiikiriza ngenda kumala okusoma. I'm going to make your life very easy. You know, she used to cry a lot. Agamba kale singa tata muwali mugambe byasinga byakoma biveeko. We are here, we will make your life easy. So I started even supporting my family people at university. Nentandika okusasulirako si baganda bange naye baana baba sisters bange abamu abaali bazaaliddwa at that time. Life was easy, and I also started teaching. Nga njagala nnyo okusomesa. I really loved it. Nga nkikola kwagala. So I used to go to some schools and teach, and they pay me. Naye oluusi tebansasula.
Ng'osomesa subjects ki?
Physics and mathematics. Nali mbyagala nnyo nga nabitegeera nnyo nga mbyagala nnyo n'obisomesa. So I used to go and teach. Oluusi nga bansasula, oluusi nga tebansasula.
Different schools?
Yeah, nga bampita ne bantwalayo ba progressive, I don't know, comprehensive, some schools. Then wabeerawo omuyindi yampa mutabani we nga musomeseza waka, and that boy yali best student eventually in the country at the Makerere College. Naye namusomesanga nnyo like so much, and I used to love because he was very brilliant. The boy was also very brilliant. They told me he ended up being a pharmacist in India, somewhere in India. He went back okusomere, but bali bansasulanga omuyindi oyo yansasula ssente.
Olwakuwa naye mmeka?
I don't remember money. Now, but it was
omwezi oba olunaku?
Every time you would go, and it was a lot of money.
Okay. Wayina ownable businesses? I
opened up a shop in Najanankumbi, which was also making again a lot of money. Nti najitekamu my cousin.
Ngotunda ki?
It was a retail shop.
Chakala. All right. Katudemu tumulemu katena nnyo tulina engineer Moses Magogo Tobao. Weewaawo akyali naffe tukwaniriza oba tukwebaza. Webali nnyo tulina omubaka owa Budyupe South. East. East, yes. Engineer Moses Magogo. He's also president of FUFA. Yes, engineer. Omaze University. Ogenda okuvaayo nga tokyanoonya mulimu. Did you practice what you learned?
Yes. Actually, nga bwe mbadde ngamba, I've always had some kind of luck in my way. When namala okukola ebibuuzo bya fourth year engineering, nga ne results zinaba kudda, some people came looking for abakozi. Nga bagamba banoonya abakozi. Bwe nagenda okukola interview mu Yenge eyo, nasangayo omwami baali bamuyita musisi nanjagala nnyo engineer naye yasomera na Miryango. Ne tugende Kinyara Sugar, baali banoonya abakozi. Ne nkola interview, natuuka Kinyara ne bambuuza mbagamba nze sibimanyi. Baali babuuza byali bya by then IT, bagala IT specialists set up things. Ne bambuuza, have you ever used Word for example nembagamba namukozesaako nga nkola project omanyi kino okonze no omanyi kino okonze no omanyi kino nga buli kimu ngamba nno nenvaayo nga manyi omulimu tebagumpadde eventually nagenda okulaba baweereza communication bagamba omulimu bagukuwadde
baali oba banoonya atabimanyi
actually bwe nagenda nembabuuza why were you doing this ne bagamba we are looking for somebody new gwe tugenda okutraining okubeera kye twagala instead of okuleeta omuntu already so we needed somebody real very fresh from university so I was given a job baali bampa 25,000 n'ennyumba. It was really very powerful life. I felt like I'm starting to earn money every 30 days. 25,000 was a lot of money. Nenkyagala nnyo.
Business yonga naye kyatambula.
Business naligirekera muganda wange, my cousin, abeera muganda wange. Najirani, of course he ran it down, but I was no longer interested in it. Namugamba, you take it, you know. So nentandika okukola ekinyala ate ekinyala natuukayo nvudde ku university missing okusamba omupiira ngenda okutuukayo nga baŋŋamba nti ate wano waliwo ttiimu y'omupiira bw'osamba ne woba togenze kukola n'okera ku makya n'ogenda mu kisaawe n'osamba actually oba ogenze ku mulimu bakusasula kuba abasambi b'omupiira bonna baali bakozi ba factory so nga playing football is part of your job.
Okay. Ku university era wali ogusamba?
Yeah, I was playing football at the university.
You wali osula mu hall?
Nali nsula mu Nkuruma hall. And my story at the university in terms of sport was that when I agendera mu Nkuruma hall ebiseera ebyo twakolanga what they used to call bull roasting simanyi oba bikyaliyo nga hall esinza mu misanyo gyonna biba champion barostinga bull nga bagiyita bull roasting. But since the 1960s when Nkuruma started, Nkuruma hall biseera by'abalugunda mugenzi Sebaana abo they are the pioneers of the hall nga tebawangulanga ku kintu kyonna tebawangulanga overall bull roasting. So when I became the interior minister in I think my second year, then I mobilized abaana ab'enjawulo abasambi b'omupiira abaaki. So in my third year Nkuruma hall start ne bull roasting for the first time in its history. Then it did that for the next 6 years because right to answer tradition. So I was involved. I played so many sports. Nazanya ku cricket, zanya ku hockey, zanya.
So muba students. Wali omanyikiddwa?
I have always been a non-student. Sebera nko mu ssomero ngate bamanyi. In primary, in secondary, n'abaana besijjukira they will always remember who I was. And not for bad reasons, but for sport and academics.
Did you also try to participate more leadership?
Yeah, I was the interior minister in Nkuruma at that time, and I was very much involved in the guild politics. My contemporaries at that time, they were shocked that I in politics immediately after university, and they are now shocked that again I've come into politics. But
they shouldn't be.
People like the Mwanga Chivumbis, Baluzige, Bamwenda. That was a bit of a generation there, and I used to participate, and I was the principal in swaying the guild politics, but I wasn't involved in national politics.
Okay. What yachi emirimu gya kuwamba sports ya kuwamba?
Nali njagala nnyo ebyemizannyo okusinga politics, nga ndabanga national politics atalina nnyo effect ku nze. Nze ndowooza nti ebyemizannyo birina effect ku nze because it was my passion.
Okay, so Chinyara obeerayo for how long and when do you leave? And
navayo ndowooza mu early 2000, and when I left Kinyara, I had the opportunity to play football, to play for Kinyara Football Club, which was a big club then, and it gave me an opportunity to play football because I played football as much as I wanted. And it was a good job. Bakuwadde emmotoka oteekamu amafuta goyagala gonna wakatandika okukola naye sente nga ntono manyi butandika okukola eventually ebifaala abiri zaatuuka ne zifuuka nga ntono naye mbagamba abo muba temunnyongeza sente ngenda nti lwaki because nali nfunye offer eyali empa omulimo nga they multiply my salary by 5, you know, ovudde ku mitwalo abiri bakuwa omulimu e Kampala ogwakakadde ale 2000.
Naye tebakuwa nnyumba,
tebakuwa birala byonna.
Ate ekijjukiro ina bano bakuleka to exercise your passion.
Exactly. So I was between a rock and a hard place.
Obango yagala kudda ku kibuga okoye ekyo.
Naye nekyalo kyali kizibu because you would come this way with other friends and other relatives, general life. It was not easy, although it was fun okubeerayo. So kati netuuka nga nina okukola decision eyo nennema okukola But when I was just walking along the road, nesanga mukwano gwange bamuyita Lubanga, twali naye ku university. Nangamba oliwo ebiseera bino ne mugamba ndi Kinyara bye nkolera. Nangamba vaayo immediately. Nembuza namba n'oba tolina mulimu vaayo obeere Kampala ku street. Ogenda kwonoonekerayo mu kyalo. Nembuza lwaki. Nangamba waliwo what they call the estate theory. Do you know it? Nemugamba no. Namba ogenda kutuukayo bakuwa ennyumba, bakuwa omulimu. Bonaaba ofunye omukyala bamuwa omulimu n'omwana bamuteeke mu ssomero waliyo kiriniki bakuggalewo togenda kuvaayo. Now when he said that, my roommate at university, Richard, is an engineer. Taata we Munyankole yagenda e Kinyara okukola. Situation eyo yennyini nga bw'agyogera bwe yali n'olwaleero
ne babanga abasenkani badde e Kinyara.
In fact bamuyita na Munyolo when is actually Munyankole. So yanyumizanga nnyo story eyo kati labono naye bwakola ki bwaginyumiza. Ne mugamba by the way nafuna omulimu mu PricewaterhouseCoopers naye mbadde saagala kujja nagamba
ng'ani agamba
nga nze mugamba olwo mukwano gwa
guno gwa 1M
ogwa 1M.
Okay.
Namugamba naye nagamba do you know what you're talking about PwC?
Did you apply for it?
Yes, I did. There was bateka advert mawulire ne ngipikinga ne applying ne bampa omulimu. Then I'm struggling. Should I take it? Should I not take it? So that guy turned my mind. Then I'm kanzireyo. I have to go. When I left, they recruited somebody to replace me, and they were giving them exactly the 1 million which I was getting this way. So I felt bad. Then I wish bali bakoze ekyo. Maybe nandisigadde.
Is it estate theory?
Yeah, maybe, but because you have to weigh. At the end of the day, the decision yours. Naye nali njagala nnyo okusamba omupiira ate nga ndi mu comfort zone. I was a star in Masindi. Olwotuuka you are treated like the star. Bawo basita ba tiimu. Naye bw'otuuka e Kampala you find a very different life. You're struggling, you're renting.
Onoonyeza ennyumba kati ate engeri.
Ogenda kumakya kulinnya taxi ogenda okukola wali weevugira mmotoka ey'omulimu.
N'ojula okwevuma Lubanga.
But I think it was also a good decision.
You were struggling Amukatano, but you eventually settled in.
I can't say I struggled, but it's life. You're starting a new life. But the money was good. Eventually it was even increased. There was one of my contemporaries. Nali nfuna sente nyingi. Olutubuzaako banno ze bafuna. That time it was a lot of money. Getting 7 digits, it was not a very easy thing at that time.
Okay. So okutandika okulowooza ku ky'okugenda mu FUFA. You didn't take on football after that?
I continued playing football. I had to find a local club here, and that was Mutundu Lions. So I continued playing football, but it was very difficult. PwC is a very busy job, and oyagala omale 5 ogende mu training. So I struggled, and I was getting even issues at place of work. Bakunoonyeza obuzeewo ogeze kusamba mupiira, and it was affecting me, but I still continued playing. When amala nga nkyali mu PwC, then I got again another offer somewhere. I left PwC by the way nga siina mulimu. I just got a misunderstanding with one of my seniors. Nengamba manye, this is a very paying job, but I'm going to go, and I quit. There was when I joined the job, it was Coopers and Librand. Kakati nga waliyo ni Pricewaterhouse. Kati then nemba merging. Actually, my first day on the job, which was I think 1st July, don't remember, but it was the beginning of a merger. So abantu abali mu Coopers and Librand babanyigirizamu ko politics, corporate politics within organizations. I'm sure you know that. Then nagenda okulaba nga baagala mbeere subjected okubanga sikola nze bye njagala kukola, and I'm a professional, so ndowooza sigenda kikola. Nembagamba manya, I've quit. Everybody was shocked. My mom was bitter. Nangamba mwana wangu lekawo otyo omulimu. Nemugamba myomanyi sigenda kukolera mu mbeera nga siri musanyufu. And I quit a job nenzirawo kati nentandika mukudda mu kusamba mupiira nga bye mbeera mu byokka. Actually, I almost lost out because at that time I was jobless. The first time I was experiencing being jobless.
Ate nga timu yali basasula.
No, team yali teyina sente actually. Sometimes I would be the person actually to find the money to finance it.
So your situation was how long?
I think it was like 1 or 2 years.
Wow,
it was a long period, and I was actually getting lost. Then one of my friends, very close friend, najja nangamba manyi, you're getting wasted. You're such a brilliant man to sobola. Nkam nantwala somewhere. Then I got a job with the United Nations immediately. When they were looking for somebody specifically with the skills I had, which I had acquired in Chinyara and PwC. It was a specific application which they were deploying. There were not many, so I got a job. The United Nations, which was also a paying job. It was a very good job. I was a UN mission in Congo. I got the best one in Kampala. Of course, and then after the United Nations, when I was still working with the United Nations, then from African Development Bank, another very, very good job. Yeah, like any employee, it was a very good job. The opportunities, the training, the travels, the exposure, and it was allowing me to do my engineering, which I did at school properly.
Was it also allowing you to do your football? It
wasn't. It wasn't. But for 8 years, when I was working with African Development Bank, I was struggling with management for football. You know, for me to be able to keep up with the work, but still, it wasn't very easy.
No,
I didn't. It was a passion I would not give up on. I just played for Mutunde. When I'm at Kenya, I just played for Mutunde. It would allow me to be absent. It would allow me to do so many things. I couldn't do it elsewhere. The demands would be too much.
Okay. So idea yingira into management of football ejadi.
When I was just a player. Ngenda okulabanga ebintu ebimu tebitambula bulungi, ng'olaba ebintu babikola bulungi, so that dissatisfaction nenjinyumizaako nannyini ttiimu eyatandika ttiimu bamwita Muzeeyi Kalibala Chris. Nemugamba naye bino ebintu naye gw'ogamba ebintu byangu naawe janguko mu management oba olowooza ebintu byangu. Nemugamba ebintu mubikola bubi, tulakinga kino tulakinga biki. So eventually we are challenging. I like challenges. Nengamba will take up management. Eventually I started getting involved in the running of the club. Ngenda okulabanga abategeka ebintu ku district which you were playing at that time nga tuzanya empiira Rubaga. Nga nabo ebintu babikola bulungi. I was dissatisfied. Nibagamba I'm going to take up management. Kuolwo bwe nagenda okunonda ne batanonda. Waliwo confusion yaliwo. Nibagamba, you people come back, let me play football. But in 3 years I'm coming back. So in the 3 years I'd understood nsomya amateeka ntegedde chimu. Nibagamba, after 3 years when I came, I was unstoppable. At that time people voted for me and I became a delegate from Rubaga, my assembly Omupiira, National Assembly. At that time there was turmoil in Ugandan football. Ben Densobua, Fufa Bajugoba government, waliwo confusion.
That was
around 2000.
Was that Lawrence at the helm?
No. Lawrence ngatanaba kujja. That was 2003, 2004. But that's when Lawrence expressed his interest to come. Bwe nawulira nga waliyo omuntu omulala azze omupya. Ngamba naye I think I should join this new person. Era nze Lawrence zina munoonya. Nemugamba manyi I'm told you are interested, but you know we can make a good team and we take over management.
Mwali temumanyiganye?
Nali simumanyi, nga simulabanga nako. Naye bwe expressing interest nti ayagala kwesimbawo ne munoonya. We even met at just the petrol station in Kabalagala ku Shell. The first time ne mugamba manyi. Namba nange nasomera no na miryango, but it was years ahead. Okay. Ne mugamba, you know, me I'm passionate about football. We must change football in this country. Nemubuza, are you up to that task? Is that what you want? Nangamba, that's what I want. Nemugamba tugezeeko tugende tunoonya obululu.
Was he also a player?
He was a delegate also now at that time.
Nenga teyaguzanyako ye? No,
I don't think yazanyako ku mupiira. Waba yazanyako, it might have been at really lower level. But I don't remember that. I don't know that.
So nemukwatagana?
Netukwatagana. And I was very young because I was still playing football even at that time. Netukwatagana kati netukwatagana. Nemugamba tugende tunoonya obululu. By that time I had become vibrant in society. Nali tulina show gye twakolanga talk show ku radio CBS at that time. Nebogere Masembe, Ruben Ruyombo, Maka Namanya. Nga tulina kasho kaffe ka luzungu.
Bakayitani?
Bakayitangani. Naye being a Uganda based radio, bali baliseeyo program y'oluzungu. So we come and talk about sport in the country. So I was very critical engeri ebintu gye babitambuzaamu nga ndaba si birungi. So I had become known around. So Mulindo was happy to acquire me as one of his people. Netutandika ntunoonya obululu, then government nejja negoba government ya Dennis Obua administration ne bakola constitution empya ne bateekawo elections.
Constitution empya gye bakola walaba ng'egenda kuyamba.
Yeah, it was much better. And then Mulindo comes at that time. Then nakola executive and he picked me up to be one of his members of the executive. So that's how I come at the national level. But before I'd been in the lower divisions, I'm administering football.
Okay. So wakati awo Mulindo nga akolako yakola ebisanja bimeka?
Yakola ebisanja bibiri. I was a member of the executive, just a member. Nenga nzaddukanya competitions oba league zonna mu Uganda. So one time mu executive nali nza signing license z'abasambi mu Uganda nga neyange yennyini gisigningira because I was still an active player.
Still mutondwe.
So Mwami Mugisha, who is my vice president, I am executive nagamba, this is not true, this is not okay. We cannot have a secretary of the league at the same time a player. He has to choose between the two. And that's when I chose not, I was 29 years, that's when I chose not to continue playing. Nengamba, I think I can serve administration better. Omupiira si ekintu kye njagala ennyo nti njagala nnyo okusamba. Nali njagala nnyo okusamba. Nenga siraba nti nina career nnene nnyo njagala ngende nsambe professional bankole ki.
Ne mu rankings nga toli waggulu.
Siyinza omu ku basambi abasinga obulungi nga sirowooza nti nja kukolera Uganda kinene nnyo ng'omusambi okusinga nga administrator. So nengamba at that time to choose between the two, it was easy for me. Nengamba, okay, let me concentrate on administration. And I don't regret the decision.
But ngamba say ekifo olabanga ekifo nawe okyegwanyiza, you can do it.
No. I was not even looking at presidents. I never thought I would be even a president of a football association. Chance jukira ko mu 1999 waliwo mwami yandetedde document recently. Nawandika article nga ngamba nti njagala kubeera mu executive ya CAF by 2020. Now that was in 1999. But I remember I wrote it. Otherwise, I did not have another ambition. Then I was still very young, ambitious, and never under Mulindo emyaka mukaaga. Emyaka ene gyasooka because the bisanja bya myaka enena. Nali in charge of competitions. Nebo yakomawo nanyongera emyaka emirala ebiri competitions. Then nakola reshuffle nga wabula emyaka ebiri amale nafuula vice president in charge of administration. So by the time he was leaving, I had become the vice president in charge of administration.
Okay. Unatandika okulaba. Unatandika focusinga. Did he ever sit you down nagamba, I see potential in you.
No.
You can take this on.
No, he didn't. Actually, yampitako lumu nambuuza nangamba nti Moses ngenda kukola emyaka 8. He told me this. I didn't take him serious, but he said it. Nangamba ngenda kukola emyaka 8 bwe mali emyaka ekisooka sina kyakubiri. Nangamba ngenda kukola ebisanja bibiri emyaka 8. Nalowooza bwe mba nvuddewo ani asobola okutekinga over.
No maga.
Then mugamba Canobel. Then Canobel kati sono yakafa ebiseera ebyo. Yakola ki nga tulowooza nti yasobola okutekinga leadership. Yali musirikale nanyini victors nga ali soba muntu awuliriza. A number of us netugamba, I think Canobel should take over after you. Naye eventually obulwadde bwanyigiriza Canobel, by the time nga ne Mulindo tanakuvaako nabanga obulwadde bumunyigiriza takyesobola. So, but it was the automatic choice for us to become the president of FUFA.
Okay. Era teyakikutunuzaamu naga?
Teyakintunuzaamu. In fact, at one time in 2009, after the first kisanja, namugamba nze maze njagala genda kukola birala. I want to go and do consultancy and support football as an outsider and do business with football. Administration is boring me. Nangamba no.
Omulimu oguli wali okyagukola?
Yes, nali nkyagukola. Nangamba no, weno bireke tubeerewo, don't go. Actually called me in Nairobi, twalina meeting here in Nairobi. Nangamba togenda bireke. Nangamba I'm not going mu bubi. I want to support you, but I think I can be more useful. I'm executive. I'm bored. Nangamba no, don't go. If we are to go, let us go together. So not at any one time did we discuss until you will take over. No.
So when does the idea come to you?
It doesn't at all, because bwe yatuuka nga maze ekisanja ekisooka ne tutandika okutegeka n'ekyokubiri nga kinaatera okuggwako.
Ekyokubiri yali era abantu bakyamwetaaga?
Twali tukyamwetaaga, n'omupiira nga gukyamwetaaga. naye bwe yali amaliriza ekisanja ekyokubiri tutegeka afune ekisanja ekyokusatu. Every preparation tutegesa okulonda
ngali
in and I was the right hand man, so he would call me genda okole kino, so I knew we were getting the third term. Then one time naayita meeting, executive committee meeting, nagamba okay, he had never called executive committee meeting without talking to me before. Moses ngenda kuita meeting naye njagala twogere ku kino, even when I was not a vice president. This time yaita meeting nga talina kyangambye, president kino tokikolangako. Tugenda twakamala wiki bbiri twakamala okola executive. Ate eno yaki? Nabwe manyi waliwo byenjagala tu discussing, bwe twagenda meeting my intuition was telling me something different. Nga ndaba ebintu byaleeta si executive. Twagala kulonda lead of delegation, nga kino tekyetaaga executive. Twagala simanyi kukola biki ebyo. Eventually nagamba okay, you people, I think I'm not going to stand. I was like, what? Because I was seated next to him. Nemugamba omanyi twandivudde mu kusaaga tumalirize meeting kuba waliwo abantu abava mu north abalina okuddayo nga meeting ekoze eki gewedde. No, Moses, that's what I'm saying. So okay, you guys, I'm not going to stand. Kyemuba mukola mumwe mwerondemu omuntu omu gwemunaamukanyizaako wegenda okuwagira. Okay.
What was his reason?
He didn't. Up to today I don't know. Because after that
I think yajjukira nagamba I committed myself.
Whatever the reason, everybody will speculate. Anybody who says knows the reason, I think is lying. It must be something very, very personal to him. Because naddamu later nga amaze okuva mu meeting. Nemugamba boss, what is it? Even if you are going, tell us why you are going, such that we know what is going to happen. Nagamba my reasons are personal.
Olwabulayo bbanga ki okulonda kubera?
Ngabulayo ndowooza nga a week emu bateekemu empapula because FOFA is a process. Waliwo obulayo ndowooza nga week emu okulonda batandika okuteekayo abalina interest okwesimbawo.
Olwo baani abalala bavuddeyo?
At that time waliwo mutabani wa Amin, Tabana Amin, waliyo Sylvia Ward, waliyo Kabushenga, waliyo Alan Sewanyana. You know, I think Olduni Nsubuga also had talked about it. So abantu baali naye nga okujjayo empapula nga tewaliyo because process yali tennaba. Nemutumira abantu bonna n'agaana. So when we were in that meeting, bannange betwali tudde nawe bagamba Moses omanyi you take over. Nebagamba you people. Nga ze sikirowooza nako ne bagamba no Moses tujja kubeerawo, for us we shall work with you. No, you take it, tulowooza osobola. Ne ngamba okay, if this is what people are thinking. Nenziramu ne munoonya ne mugamba omanyi beera president. Ogende kitendo obeera headmaster ku ssomero. Nzondeke running a federation, but I couldn't just see myself alone on my own. Nanga Moses omanyi take responsibility, I'll support you from the background. Nemugamba I can only take this if you guarantee me that nze mwenyini neetya nga sirowooza nti nsobola. Eventually nengenda nemutumira ne muganda we, yali na muganda we nga mukwano gwange naye nga muganda we, nemugamba convincing omwami oyo kigenda tukola bubi. Nenjogako ne vice president ya Mwami Sekandi nemugamba yugira kuno omwami, it's wrong. Tasobola tuleka bwati nga takoze tatutegese.
Ebbanga eryo nali yabategeka. Mwali mwagala soka
our minds were not psychological. Kubanga bamuntu twalowooza maybe we would leave football and go and do other things. Nete kyasoboka. So eventually I picked the forms. Nengamba let me take it. And that's how it started, me being a FOFA president.
Over all the other candidates, good your strength yalua for you to win this?
Abantu abali mu mupiira mu executive baba balonde, they are elected from their regions, so they come along with a lot of support.
All the other people tebali so close.
Bali tebali, like the names I've given you, like Robert Kabushenga, oli mu bibyo birala. No mupiira totegera, and even the rules had already been set at that time, they don't even qualify by rules. Nti olina okuba obadde mu mupiira for a certain number of years. So those rules have been set under Mulindwa. But then when it came to elections, definitely the rules had to apply. And most of those people are very interested. Apart from Mr. Mugisha, yali alina rules nga yaqualifyinga. Naye Mr. Mulindwa yatuyita fembi n'agamba Mr. Mugisha mwena muli bantu bange, you work under Moses, I will support your administration.
So you had the full backing of the former president? No,
I had the full backing. And Mr. Mugisha also accepted, and he has since been my vice president up to today.
Who? Mr. Mugisha?
Mr. Mugisha, okay. Yes.
Have you ever fallen out with Lawrence at some point?
Well, it is like a parent and a child. I don't think you call that falling out. sometimes he perceives things a certain way. And but whenever we meet and we talk about issues, there are no issues really. I will always give him maximum respect, and I will always tell him the truth, where I think the truth is the truth. And he believes in me, not because he's a former president. No, we have a younger president. I'm the only person who had the right to walk to him and tell him the truth, not anyigira.
Okay, tugenda kumulamu, Honorable. But we have seen a lot of kavuyo, dissatisfaction mu bantu ku reign. Okay, tunyonyola. What exactly is happening? We've seen big players like the Onyangos get off the national team because they think you are being disrespectful and mismanaging the whole association. All right, tumulamu tova. Aho tutuuka ku nkomerero oba ku ntandikwa y'enkomerero eya program Mwasuze Mutya. Tuline Honorable Budiope East, that is Engineer Moses Magogo, also President of the Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA. Ayingidde wa President kitande kisooka kimaze ayagala ekyokubiri. Ejjukira yali tabiriiko wasa kitwalirowooza nti okay biyingiddemu birimu challenges zaabyo kyenkoze nkikoze. I wasn't even prepared for this in the first place. I won't be coming back for a second time. Kangende nkole ebirala. Wakati awo, what has been your most challenging? Kirabikanga, I know it's very hard to manage talent. I know. But also, we have seen them play for the national team, ku regime eya Obua, ku regime eya Mulindwa, and they were very okay despite the fact in football, obolya omwina financial challenges oluusi ezibatawanya. But why are they coming out? Abanene mu team ate ku regime yo bafuna obuzibu obutukano bajja ku team. Nga basobola okuzanya wakati mu kusomozebwa okw'ebyensimbi. Nate kati mutandise n'okufuna ku ka financing, they are pulling out.
Actually, let me just make the correction. I've done 2 terms already because our terms are 4 years. This would be the 3rd term. And okukitegeera olina okutandikira nze bwe natandikira. There's been a very huge transformation. I will insist I'm the best football president ever this country has had in terms of statistics.
Because we eventually went back to
AFCON? No. Yeah. That one for me, bali bakanonera bagamba bantu temumpimira kugenda mu Africa Cup of Nations. That is just an indicator. Naye waliwo ebintu ebirina okuterezebwa. Neneesalira ebintu byonna nina okukola we nali nzija ne mbagamba njagala kutereza kitongole kye bayita FUFA largely okuva ku bakozi 8 be nasangawo tebalina job description bafuna ne misaala mu cash million 8 per month salary yabo abantu bonna today bonna
8.
Yes, today tusasula million 2 mu salaries per month, 60 staff all over the country, not only in Kampala, even in the regions. Now that is just an indicator of how much the organization has been transformed. Ekyokubiri nengamba twagala kukola ku byansimbi tube nti institution eyongera okuyingiza sente. Abantu abamu bakiri defining anti I'm lucky, but we worked. I said it before and I'm going to transform and we make money. When I taking over right for a billion nya nga ye turnover annually. Olwaleero we are running into a 40 billion annual turnover times 10. Where has the money come from? We had to reorganize the marketing and make more sponsorships. We had to open up relationships with the government, with the FIFA. And this was binu nabyogera mu 2013 byonna ne bagamba binu bwe mumpa opportunity byengenda okukola. Then inside football we have turned around capacity building, abantu betusomeseza omupiira gw'abaana tusambye finals, abantu batunulira AFCON ey'abakulu. Naye twakasamba tournament 10 finals mu myaka 8 eza Africa nga mulimu n'ey'abaana abato gye twasambye final ya Africa under 20 for the first time. Beach soccer basambye semi-finals abadde bagenda mu World Cup. Abawala, if it had not been Corona to cancel the World Cup, abadde bagenda mu World Cup. The girls under 17, champions in the South, champions in the East of Africa. So turn around has been massive. Now when you come to the national team particularly, turning around national team yaliwo abasambi bali talented naye twayongera nnyo mu logistics, engeri gye tutambulamu, engeri gye tusasulamu. ye difference gyetwaleeta ey'amaanyi nti luli olwaleero national team ekyatalinga ennyonyi luli batambulanga ne basula ku airport ne balwawo but these days we have the ability okubanga batambula bulungi so results tezajja accidentally
things seem to be moving smoother than they were. Then what is it?
And that's what I'm getting to. I'll give you one story which I remember very well. On the 4th of June 2007, the Daily Monitor, the front page, yalina story egamba nti essanyu eriri mu nkambi nga buli musambi afunye akakadde ka Uganda shilling nga tumaze okusamba Nigeria. Olwaleero omusambi bw'akola the same thing afuna obukadde 10 times 10. Now, we're trying improving a sente. Money is good and bad. We're trying improving a sente. Expectation yabasambi. Like anybody else, the moment your income increases, your expenditure also increases. Katwatu nandikanga expectation yabasambi nayo ne rising because of the money. Nte sente zetwaleeta ife stabilizing abantu bagambe katu concentrating zatu kati ne zireeta demand. Ng'omuntu alabira ddala would need to get more. Ekyokubiri nti some situations are exaggerated in the media the way they are put. There is no challenge at the moment. Nti abasambi abavudde abagamba nti bamaze omupiira bakuze. Omusambi w'omupiira kasituweza myaka 3 oba ogenze mu bonus years all over the world. It's not only in Uganda. Nti bobeera omusambi abasambi abali
tayari. How old is Ronaldo?
Ronaldo, you might never get another Ronaldo in another 20 years.
Yeah, but he's still playing and very.
That's what I'm saying. It's a special.
As long as my body, my physique is still capable, you can't write me off.
That is a special case. There are not too many Ronaldos. I'll ask you for another one. He's a totally different personality. Now, Musambi w'omupiira kasitaweza emyaka 3. Immediately you have to plan for exit. You must be planning for exit. Abamanyi omupiira in the whole world bakimanyi. It's not surprising. 2, there are 3 players who retired. It's not the whole team. The 3 players who retired were all above this. Twa discussing ne Mike Azira ngo tunana kusamba mpira gwa Malawi na agamba njagala kumala mupiira ntumugamba toleeta negative energy katusoke tumale ki campaign. Hassan Waswa had taken 2 years without playing club football. So government, I'm retiring from the national team. You're already not part of the national team. You already even retired. Even now he's not playing club football. Dennis yali agala retiring even before the campaign began. Netumugamba Dennis keep on. But wagende Malawi ngompira guwedde, we even have the audios. Ngagamba you people nze maze ne mugamba Dennis omanyi, let us do one more campaign in the World Cup. But tuba tumaze World Cup eno, which we are starting now, maybe but tuba qualify nze well and good, you play the World Cup. But now to qualify nze you can finish. So okuconnecting resignation no kugamba nti abasambi tebali satisfied, it is manufactured. Because I have a communication with these people. I have written communications from all these people. And 2, ekintu abantu kye bataginga, the team I faulted for playing the football was not pleasant. Was the Chan team, it was not the Cranes team. No, but the fact is ng'omuzadde nti ojjayo olusi kibooko n'okubamu abaana bwe babanga tebakoze bulungi. It is very, very wrong, and I will repeat it and I will go on record. Omusambi mu Uganda okumukwata nga ate oweereddwa buli kyetaagisibwa kyonna ate okuwangulwa si kyekikulu kuba mu mupiira bawangula naye ffe ababeera okumpi ne ttiimu waliwo ebintu bye tulaba mu abali eno bye mutalaba nti ttiimu ogigoba ne Barcelona nani bazigoba. It's not the biggest challenge. Naye ttiimu okugigoba nga bagigobye lwaki? Now ttiimu ya Chan eyo gye nali njogerako twagiwa the best ever preparations, buli kimu ekyetaagisa, naye twatuuka otugoba omupiira ng'abaana tebafuddeeyo. Omupiira ne guggwa abaana ne basigala nga baseka nga tebalumiddwa. Remember there is a whole 40 million of the people waiting. Naye mmwe temukyalina ku mutima gwa kwagala kukola ki? So as a parent you have a responsibility to say guys what you are doing is wrong, it is unacceptable. Temusobola kubanga Uganda yonna ebalinze mwe ne mugusalawo ne babakuba omupiira nga muli mu kuzannya buzannyi.
Baali bazannya buzannyi.
They were not serious, and if you look at the results, Uganda yasembwayo ddi okuba goal 5 in one match, which they did. And why nga tebali serious before the match abagamba ebintu byebakola, during the match nebirabika, so after the match. So for me it was specific, and it is unacceptable for the national team.
Nyo manyi tata bwaba kuba abaana ine engeri gya wumba, the whole village doesn't have to know.
No, na era na wumba. I think nawumba and still these players are still part of the national team. Nebo tunagamba nti abasambi tulino bakwatanga buli kimu. No, where they go wrong, let us be clear. In other countries, they attack players getting abasambi bubi. In this country tulowooza nti omusambi w'omupiira takola nsobi talina kukola. Bwebanga waliwo ensobi, waliwo either president oba coach. It is wrong. Sometimes it is the problem of the player himself.
Okay. Bwetupanga twakkiriza mwayogeraganya nenga Dennis. Dennis is a big person. Captain Mulamba, goalkeeper, ranked highly.
And I've said it before.
Bwetupanga twakkiriza tugamba let's go for the campaign ya World Cup. Along the way ngatenaba nakutandika. Oba wakati wayo they quit. Teba sign nungi ffe tuli.
Of course.
Namwe mwenyini nchikuwa there was a big concern. Especially ngolaba nti teri muntu replacement gwe twesiga for such a big campaign.
Ekisookera ddala mu mupiira abantu bajja ne bagenda. Ate omupiira gw'omusambi gwasamba. Bw'owulira nti oyagala genda tusobola okugamba nti ogenda. Naye decision eyo eba yiyo kuba gwe mwenyini gwawulira omubiri gwo. Ekyokubiri nti now reasons whatever the reasons.
Did he ever call you before you went to Twitter to?
Yes, even after I have.
Kugamba, you know what, President, I think this is the right time. I don't think I can go on with the campaign.
Yes, we have a very good communication before and after, even now, and there's a lot of correspondence even after now, guidance in what he wants to do. The gifting he was getting from the president, all these things, there is a lot of communication behind the scenes. Nti abantu abamu kyebatunda ne kyebagala okulaba olususi bwe kiri nti that is not the case. Ekituufu kiri nti n'abasambi abasinga okuba abalungi mu ggwanga lino baamala omupiira. We had the Musisi's, we had the Asules, omupiira omuntu agumala. Newe tuba tukwagala nnyo ng'oli musambi wa mupiira, that moment as a footballer, I know it comes and you have to leave. So it is unfortunate. Nze nali ndowooza nti mu kulowooza okwange yanditwongeddeyo mu qualification. Mu kulowooza okukwe ng'agamba, let me give other players an opportunity. Mu bigambo bye, if I can quote, agamba, no, I've helped Watenga come to South Africa. I think he should be given the opportunity to take over. Ate ategeera department n'ogwo mulimu kusinga nze ayogera eno gye nkola kigendi. So for me, I give him respect, and I've said it before. Nti Dennis maybe is one of the greatest players this country has ever had. I've said it before, he's the best goalkeeper in Africa. I've said all these accolades before about him. So there's no bad blood. Even right now we have a conversation, totally no bad blood. I think the timing was wrong. There was also a lot of ill advising and pushing, but I'm thinking that the decision wasn't wrong.
Are there people, can you confirm there are people fighting you, that they could have gone through the players to make you feel like the bad president, failing at management?
Kati omuzannyo gw'omupiira Farida kankubuulire n'abatulaba. World over, there will always be somebody fighting. Even when today one waliwo atudde wali ng'alina kya planning okukola. It is the nature of the sport. It is not a transport industry. It is not a farm or agriculture. It is football. Nti mu mupiira olwaleero CAF president waliwo planning omujjawo. FIFA president waliwo planning omujjawo. FIFA president, that is what the nature of football is. The only thing you do, you account yourself by the results you put on table. That's the only thing you can do. Never done kukutunula ku bantu all the time somebody, because I mean tebisobola kubeera 100% right.
Okay.
Somebody will concentrate on the 5%, but there's the 95% good.
Players aside, ate echa coach Mitchell in particular. What happened? Yali agamba sente ze tazifuna.
Kituufu yali, what happened at that time, I tried to explain it. Nti Mitchell bwe yayisaawo tiimu egitwala mu Africa yali alina okufuna bonus ya $5,000. Kakati mu kumusasula, February tumusasula, nga tumanyi tumusasula buli mwezi. Mu sente ze twali tumusasula, ye nazi collecting n'agamba nti gino gye mitwalo gyange 5 egy'okuyisaawo ttiimu, so manja musaala. Meanwhile, February tumanyi nti bonus gye tutanaba kumuwa nga tuginoonya, which we acknowledge gye mitwalo 5. Naye ate mu sente ze twali tumusasula,
omusaala gwe yajja agufuna.
Gwe yali ajjanga afuna. Kakati omusaala ogwo ye n'agamba, no, this is I'm entitled to mitwalo gyange 5 egy'okuyisaawo ki ttiimu, which is true mu contract. So ze manja gwe musaala.
Mwali temumusasula?
Farida, I'm saying twali tumusasula buli mwezi.
Kati omusaala gwe yali abanja gweguliwa?
Anti naye yali afunye bonus. Bonus is on top of omusaala. Ng'alina okufuna emitwalo 5 egy'okuyisaawo ttiimu. Kakati emitwalo 5 twali tetunaba gisasula. So kye yakola ku musaala gwe twali tumusasula n'agamba nti nze zine ssente emitwalo gyange 5 mwaginsasula so kimanja gwe musaala, which we said okay, that is true. If that's how you want it, we have no problem, give us a payment plan tube nga tusasula. And that money njogera ku mitwalo 5, but it had come from about $120,000 nga tuze tuzikendeza. Remember at that time we were not getting money from government. We were not getting money. Bakochi bano bali expensive okuba maintaining. So bwe yatuuka nafuna omulimu oguli better. This is the reality. We yafuna omulimu oguli better natugamba bannange nze njagala genda nfunye omulimu oguli better. Now it would be very wrong for us ogamba nti togenda kukola mulimu oguli better sigala wanungu obanja ne sente tukya struggling okola ki okuzifuna. That is how we parted. And we told him, Micho, you are going, but we shall pay you what dogenze. Which indeed we did and paid him ngatali wano. And even acknowledge naga banange sente zange nkoze ki nzifunye sikyabanja Uganda publicly. And we maintained the relationship wadde ngaali yawe.
Association erimu okusasula national team coach. Tuba tugitwala tutya. Omulaba nga he's supposed to be a strong pillar mu national football. And he's one of the people you should be thinking about. Coach, I know kubane sente as a training Omupiira ngomutima gumuli wamu.
It is not the only cost. Bogamba coach so kuba ne coach nga toyina basambi. Mupiira everything is important. It's not the coach.
Are there situations where the president and his executive don't get money?
Actually, twakatandika kati before they were not paid. It is a voluntary piece of work. It is right now in my administration now that I've started saying, okay, bafunenga yo some money for retainership, the way it is at FIFA and CAF. But in the beginning, jukira tried to lina sente zitumala. Managing a national team is very, very, very expensive. Naibo chetwakola nga tulina okunonya resource envelope. And Micho's going opened up another opportunity for us. Because we went back to government and said, guys, look, in other countries, you are talking about Morocco, joyagala nkube, nenga obataddemu 5 billion, fete tulina kye tutaddemu. Ojagende Kenya nga bataddemu 8 billion. Netuleta statistics in front. There was nothing coming from government at that time. Now, Micho's going gave us an opportunity
to argue that. To
argue that. And immediately, the government gives us 10 billion appropriation. Sometimes that is zona, but appropriation for FIFA and national team is 10 billion.
That is.
Coach Abanjo Walero to Badene de Sabri. Why is nobody talking about the Sabri? Why is nobody talking about McKinstry? Chitegi is that we solved the problem which we had at that time.
Okay. So Micho is back. Momo amononyeza.
The world of football is small. Mwina mubera mu environment here. I said we kept a relationship. Some things try to be funny because of his connections he left behind. We got international friends through him. And we wished him well, but we also believed that he was a good coach at the same time, but we couldn't afford him at that time. Katolwaliri comes back and finds a better federation. I also think he comes back as a better coach in terms of experience. So that combination, we want to try it again and see if we can get our new visions.
Okay. Abazanyi baffe nga tetubalaba mu teams enene, I mean leagues enene e Bulaya. Are we not talented enough? Are we not marketing them enough?
Kati omupiira ngezaako okulaba nti me am a trained FIFA administration instructor, so I understand football at a different level. Some people don't want to hear that, and I spend a lot of time reading and researching about football and writing. Kati omupiira okukola omusambi abeera mu Premier League is a 20-year project. It's not a 2-year project. Nti okubye nnyo goal mu league kati bakutwale. No. It's a 20-year project. Omwana bamutandika emyaka 5 ne bamuteekateeka nti alisamba mu Premier League. Now our process of okuteekateeka abaana okuva ku myaka 5 okutuuka ku myaka 2 wagendera mu Premier League has been wrong over a period. We are trying to fix, but there are so many things. Ebimu biri out of our control, ebimu biri within our control.
So kati mweza tulira guno omujiji omuto obwana obuto.
We have gone back. Nalero kyetugezaako okukola, we are developing a curriculum okutegeera nti omwana bamusomesa ki okubanga by the 20 years agenda kubeera professional yaliki. Kuba omupiira is not just about football. It's the tactical training omusambi, the technique gyalina okuyiga, the fitness, the psychology.
Do we have that capacity?
That's what we are building, and that should have been done 20-30 years okutuuka kati. We did not do that. Kati olwaleero tuli mu process y'okuzimba capacity. Okubanga neggwanga, let alone the football, we need the country also to understand it. We need the private sector to come into it and bring in the money in the clubs. Kubanga omusambi akulira mu clubs takulira mu FIFA. So club eyo eba terina sente. Togenda gamba nti sports club Villa to academy. erimu omwana bwati ne bwati tebalina sente ezo and the federation cannot do it, so it's a very bigger vision that we need to address.
Okay. All said, whatever challenge, what is your biggest challenge, more federation?
Mindset.
At the moment, mindset.
It is not the federation, it is actually the industry. And the federation is just regulates the industry or so supervises the industry. Mindset. And tubadde n'omupiira oguyitibwa amateur football okuva mu 1897 when football arrived here paka olwaleero. Now amateur mindset tevuma etegeeza nti osamba omupiira busambi. Now the opposite is professional football. And professional football buli akola mu mupiira asasulwa. Kati olwaleero mindset yaffe nange inclusive yakuliza twasambira mupiira tugukulemberedde mu mbeera ya amateur mindset. Okukyusa mindset eyo ebibuzo bingi byotandika okuwulira. Professional environment twetaaga okubanga sente weziri ebikozesebwa webiri abantu bakola ebintu nga Farida bwotegera nti a simple example 9 o'clock on a show olina okubeera wano whether it rain or what. Kati mindset okugikyusa okugireeta kuba obana tutakyusa mindset abantu bafuna resistance. Kati in the process of the resistance we are creating anxiety and unrest. Nemuddayo ate mu beginning where you are coming from. For me it's the biggest challenge, but infrastructure, resources, the law are also challenges that we need to look at.
Okay. Awo inachokola ne bani oba who is supposed to spearhead this?
It is supposed to ebimu tebiri mu mikono gyaffe. Ebiri mu mikono gyaffe by the way ebisinga obungi tugezezzaako bikola. We still have of course a few challenges.
Is it the ministry?
It has to be government. I will not even call it the ministry because there is a role of parliament, there is a role of minister of justice, there is a role of minister of finance. So that's why I'm saying it is government. Okutandika okutunuulira omupiira nga industry. Ntera nnyo ku example ya transport industry. Waliyo wa boda, waliwo nanyiniyo, waliwo agivuga, waliwo omusaabaze, waliwo akanika. Bonna balya ku boda ey'emu balya ku musaabaze y'omu. Kati n'omupiira tulina okutandika okugutunuulira nga industry nti agusamba, agucoachinga, aguteekamu essente nga investor. Bonna balina okuba nga bafunye omulimu. Ebeere industry esasula omusolo erina ebikozesebwa nga industries endala.
Okay. Because you were somehow groomed by Lawrence, the former president, he took 2 terms. So we were married ekisanja ekyokubiri abagoberezi twalowooza okay, he's probably going to act like his former boss and create space for somebody else to take over the mantle. Oyingidde politics ne tulowooza okay, now he's probably creating an exit route. Tugenda kulabira ng'okomyewo for the 3rd term. I think it came at a point where you faced a lot of resistance from abantu b'omu industry. Chichi?
Kakati industry, Farida challenge gy'olina n'abalala gye balina badefininga industry. Nti balabayo omuvubuka akola ku radio ng'ayogera bagamba oyo wa mupiira industry. This industry is made up of certain people. There is nobody inside the industry who is not happy. And when I talk about the industry, njogera ku abantu 34 abakola FUFA. We are talking about coaches, we are talking about referees, we are talking about those groups, the clubs. That is why tewabeerawo na muntu agenda kwesimbawo ng'ali serious. Simply because they have looked at where we have come from.
Because Mubano, if I remember very well, waliwo abantu nga bamuji abavaayo nga they are ready to take on, but they were forced to pull out because emiwaatwa apparently makubo gaabwe gonna wagenda n'ogateekamu ebibaawo ate basobola kuyingira.
I think that's a very, very unfair allegation. Omuntu bwe oyagala kubeera president wa FUFA, the process is clear. This process has been there since 2012. Si ya leero tewaliwo kipya kizze leero. Emyaka 8 giyise what bagikola under Dr. Mulindwa. Ne mukulu Mujibu goyogera ku bali part of the process ekola setup eno. Omuntu bw'oba oyagala kubeera president wa FUFA olina okweteekateeka ekimala. It's a very big job. You are going to run a 40 billion industry institution, so it's not something kyokera ku makya n'ogamba nti kati njagala. Ekyokubiri tebali serious. And when I say that abantu bagamba nti njogera bubi, but if I was the one waliwo ebintu bye nandikoze byenda abantu bo tebakola ki tebakola. If I was the one in their position nti tewaliwo miwaatwa tewaliwo omuntu gwe bastopinga. Elections zonna zibeera n'amateeka gaazo. Bagamba nti Farida okwesembawo olina okufuna abantu abakusemba. That's a practice in the whole electioneering in the whole world. Kati gwe bwolemereddwa okufuna abantu abakusemba, then no turning around nodda mu public n'ogamba nti bannemesezza. No, I think it is very unfair because abakusemba webali, it is one club, it is one region, it is one SIG. Weziri kati bw'okugamba nti bannemeseza ani yali ayagala okukusemba ne bamugana taliyo. Kati mu public eno musoma birala naye abantu abali mu mupiira abalonzi they know us, bamanyi what Magogo can do, bamanyi what Kasule can do, bamanyi abantu abalala bonna. So it is a very long allegation in the public ewuliriza ebigambo byewuliriza byonna. But go back to the industry.
Akadde katugwako honorable in 1 or 2 minutes. Politics gwali oganya okuyingira earlier. Then what changes your mind? Nagamba kuruno. Let me go to Parliament.
I'm motivated by 2 reasons. The people of Budiope East, twatu kesawa nga ndaba ekitundu kiganya okukyuka. Actually Uganda is developing in other aspects. Kyo kikwata advance nga kidda n'ebintu bye twalina nga nabyo bitandise okubanga tebikyaliwo. And when these elders came to me, there were about 6 people who came to me. Ne bangamba omanyi, this is the moment. I thought about it and I said, okay, let me take the challenge. I want to work for the people of Budiope and the people of Busoga generally. But at the same time, ne mupiira twakola strategy. Ntugamba nti omupiira tukoze buli kye tukola. Naye ebintu bye twetaaga, I talked about the law, I talked about funding, I talked about infrastructure. Bino byonna biri mikono gya government. Let me go to Parliament. Let us go to Parliament. Kuba mu executive yange abantu 5 abeesimbawo ku MP. It's not only me. Abamu tebaawininga. But Byamukama did, Aliga Rasul did, Honorable Chiwala did. Yali strategy. Tugende mu Parliament.
Muweze numbers.
Tuweze numbers to making a case. And I think it is very good for football. And before I thought it was good. Now I understand how good it is. Okubeera ne president of federation nga member of Parliament. Because you have a direct access to whatever you want.
Okay. So when do you plan to leave FUFA?
Sikola bintu bye sirowoozezaako. Nze buli kintu kyenkola nsooka nenkirowoozaako. Even when I was going to Parliament, I thought about whether I should come back for the 3rd term in FUFA or not. And I thought that I should not come back. Neighbor colleagues around for football themselves said, you know what, let us understand the intersection. Tulabe kiki kye tusobola okubenefitinga bw'oli mu Parliament ne mu FUFA. What can we get? Maybe it is the take-off. Bino byonna tubikoze, but let us see this term nga you have a responsibility on your... Manyi wobeera president wa FUFA omupiira, you don't sleep, it is on your head. So tosobola kugenda mu Parliament and you are not thinking about FUFA. Naye bw'oba ovudde mu FUFA n'ogenda mu Parliament, the rest job ofunye oyinza n'obutaddamu kulowooza ku kyamupiira. So we agreed as a group of leadership ogamba no tuweeyo emyaka at least 4 tusooke tulabe what this intersection means for football. If we can, maybe we shall get certain things, and I think we shall.
Okay. Akade katuweddeko honorable. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Ndaba wano bwana bukwepikira. I know you've been married to, what's her name? I've forgotten. I'll go, akuteka nnyo ku Facebook. I've forgotten the name. And then how many wives? 3, 4? Hajj.
Ekisookera ddala eddiini yange enzikiriza okukola kyenjagala. It is up to me, and at the moment I have one person who is officially married to me, and when I want to take the next steps, I'll definitely tell the people.
Okay. Which one?
Dera is my wife.
Oh. Omutulabira Dera.
And but that does not mean nti maze. Ndi musajja musiraamu. Ndi wadde mbokola ekintu ekyalala kyonna.
Abaala abasiraamu bangi.
And at the right time I'll make official the next arrangements and the public will get to know.
Inshallah, in the near future. As early as next week.
Well, not next week, but in the near future.
All right, Honorable, thank you so much for the few hours. Zotuwadde, we're sure you're very busy. Era tugenda kuta ogenda okola emirimu gyo. And whatever achievements you've got to grant us to Omupiira gwe Uganda, thank you so much. We salute you. We hope for the best. And that's it for this week. Tujja kuddingana ate ku Monday sawa 3 to sawa 5 every day is until Friday. You have a beautiful weekend. Akume, bye-bye.